Simone Biles is coming to her senses after attacking Riley Gaines, the stunningly beautiful, courageous. I am telling you, this young woman is amazing because what she has had to put up with is so severe and so wrong, but she stands for young women everywhere. And I say this as a proud mom of 2 athlete daughters. I was never an athlete like them. No. Singing. that was me, but they are serious athletes with big aspirations. One of my kids is at nationals right now. And what Riley Gaines has done for women's sports, like I'm getting goosebumps just thinking about it because she didn't need to take this on, okay, guys? She did not need to do this, and she did it, and she did it for my kids, for your kids, for generations of women that want to be able to compete on a really big level. But we're losing opportunities, including Riley, right? Who should have won. But because there is somebody who was born as a biological man and decided at University of Pennsylvania, mind you, to change genders and compete on the women's team, Riley lost out. And you know what? She's determined that that's not going to happen to any other girl. But Simone Biles decided, well, you know, Riley's wacky and prejudiced and doesn't like trans because of this. So she decided it was really weird to go on a rampage on Twitter. She's doing a backflip, okay? to use a little bit of gymnastics, all right? She's like a quadruple backflip or whatever they call these things. She's doing a backflip because guess what? Turns out Riley has a lot of fans. A lot of them. Like every young female athlete, for starters, okay? She is kind of an American hero now, an American icon. So when you attack Riley, Simone, you're attacking young women everywhere. You're also attacking conservatives everywhere. And you know what? We have a voice now. We can speak up. We can talk. And we can be heard. And believe me, conservatives were heard. Right? You know, she came out. Let me see if I can go to the original tweet. Here we go. And we'll go to the response of one Riley Gaines, who is just a class act all the way. She said, Riley Gaines, you're truly sick. Whoa. Okay, like that's a pretty aggressive thing to say to someone. And I'm like, who is this? Did somebody like hijack her little Twitter account? Because, you know, she's just this little gymnast who is making her living out on the speaking circuit. Aunt Candy, thank you so much. Always appreciate the generosity. Love having you here. And I knew you'd love my guest choice. We don't do a lot of guests here, but when we get them, we like to really get them, right? Anna Polina Luna is going to come back. Anyway, she writes, you're truly sick of all the campaigning because you lost a race. You're doing all this campaigning because you lost a race. Excuse me? I mean, what, Riley's supposed to like sit back and just take it? That's what you want? How can you say that you stand for women when you're saying, suck it up, too bad, some guy who was born a guy who decided he was a girl, but still had all the, you know, like the testosterone buildup of, I mean, how can you say that? You're truly sick. All this campaigning because you lost a race. Straight up sore loser, she writes. You should be uplifting the trans community and perhaps finding a way to make sports inclusive or creating a new avenue where trans feel safe in sports. Maybe a transgender category in all sports, but instead you bully them. One thing for sure is no one in sports is safe when you are around, writes one Simone Biles. Okay, like Riley's not good enough? Riley should have won? Come on. I mean, look, Riley, forgive me, this is the wrong post. We're going to get to that. Because people started it just got really vicious. She wrote, this is so disappointing. It's not my job or the job of any woman to figure out how to include men in our spaces. You can uplift men stealing championships in women's sports with your platform. Men don't belong in women's sports, and I say that with my full chest. And so then, Simone is saying, oh, well, she could beat a man. She could beat a man in gymnastics. I don't know about that, but maybe she could, right? Maybe she could, because in gymnastics, don't you need to be small? It's not like part of the advantage, all these gymnasts, little teeny tiny things. I'm about 5'7", so you wouldn't see me as a gymnast. Right? A little too tall. Kind of grew up out of that. Not that I was ever good at cartwheels or any of that, but nonetheless, you need to be small to be a gymnast. And so I could see a scenario where, hey, maybe Simone could, right? Unless, she got a really compact guy. So she's not looking at these things in the right way. She's making all kinds of, dare I say, inaccurate analogies, and she's conflating women's sports, men's sports, women's bodies with men's bodies because, she didn't get a whole lot of education. I mean, she was too busy doing the cartwheels, right? So she didn't get a ton of education, whereas, Riley was in college, et cetera. So a little bit of a different scenario. So she's not operating on the same playing field. So maybe we got to cut her some slack because she's just not that bright, but clearly not bright, picking this kind of fight with this kind of icon. And so now, ladies and gentlemen, she's walking it back. She's walking it back because she feels bad. Well, here's the thing. I don't think she feels bad. I think she's walking it back because she just realized she did some serious brand damage to herself. She thought she was doing great. She's out on some speaking circuit. They hire her at some liberal universities here and there to give some commencement speeches, even though she barely finished seventh. I don't even know. She might have been homeschooled. Nothing against homeschooling, by the way, but I have a feeling that for Simone Biles, it was kind of a different scenario. Here's a multiple choice test. All the answers are right. Just focus on those cartwheels and those backflips and that kind of stuff. Anyway, she's trying to walk this back because some of the people came out with some really, really aggressive things against her, including one of our friends here. She's been on the show. This is George Papadopoulos' wife. She tweeted this out when she was referring to Riley Gaines versus herself. She said, "You're talking about yourself, right? Riley Gaines is not the masculine one looking here." So there were some just really bad sort of arrows that Simone was launching at Riley, and Riley didn't deserve any of that. And I'm just glad to see that it's resolving itself. So now Simone issues this, Simone, I'm thinking Simona Mangiante, the Italian woman who put out that tweet. She's actually saying, would you forgive me? Would you forgive me? Because I really didn't mean this kind of stuff. And I think it's not really about forgiveness. I think she's actually realized that she is going to lose speaking revenue because she has just become a kind of hated person, right? So now she's making this statement because, she wants to acquiesce and gain some of her followers back. Here, I'm going to quote it for you. Okay, she said, "I wanted to follow up from my last tweets. I've always believed competitive equity and inclusivity are both essential in sport. The current system doesn't adequately balance these important principles, which often leads to frustration and heated exchanges. It didn't help for me to get personal with Riley, which I apologize for." So it strikes me that she is not actually showing any remorse. She's just kind of trying to maybe not get so much hate directed at her and protect her brand if she could by any means necessary. It's a very sort of Machiavellian approach. So that's Simone. But you know what? I'll just tell you this. You know who is a champ, a total champ, because she actually wrote that she accepted the apology from Simone and that, you know what, they could move forward. And then she even, on top of that, Riley Gaines, cautioned against other people who were trying to inflict more hate on Simone. And so she's trying to bring the situation back. I would just say, once again, proving that she is just a really, really great woman, and we're lucky to have her representing girls everywhere and women's sports. It's wonderful, wonderful to see.